Happy New Year's to anyone who is not my aunt. I can't believe I've been doing makeup for 4 years now. But here is my updated makeup tutorial. Before you do your makeup, wash your face please and like moisturize it. That's the best way to get a good face of makeup. And then here are my 2 favorite primers. They're both one size. The only downside of these is that they're both pretty expensive, so I think a good dupe would be the e.l.f. Primer Grip. Specifically the pink one. The pink one. But I swear, these are one of my favorite primers ever. Like I use both of them like religiously. Moving on to eyebrows. I'm still experimenting on how I want my eyebrows to look, but I start off with the Morphe pen. Oh my goodness, the fireworks. This is Anastasia gel. Then I carve my eyebrows with the e.l.f. concealer. These are definitely one of my favorite concealers, and it's really cheap too, so that's a big plus. And you can get this baby like anywhere. I think I got her at a Walgreens, so afterwards I will carve them again with the Too Faced foundation. I'm not a big fan of the Too Faced concealer, but the foundation works really well as a concealer actually. But I'm not buying this again. It was just dookie. Like I got it as a foundation, but it worked really bad as a foundation. So to save money, just get the e.l.f. concealer and then go ahead and blend with a brush again. This is such a dumb detail, but I blend downwards on my eyelids and then I blend upwards on the top of my brow, just so it doesn't go into my brow. And then I'm going to take a sponge and just blend out the rest of the concealer. And then boom, perfect eyebrows. These are my 2 favorite foundations. I used the rose ink for my makeup look today because it's very lightweight. But both of these are very expensive, so a good dupe will probably be the Maybelline foundation. It's one of my favorite foundations. And then I take the Camo e.l.f. concealer again and I place it in these placements right here. Then I take the rose ink concealer and place it in between those 2 spots underneath my eyes. And I know this is weird, but I do not let my concealer sit for too long. I immediately start blending with a sponge. So after I'm done like blending and everything like that, I take one of my favorite concealers, which is the Too Faced Eternal Light Concealer. And I place it where I want my eyes to be very bright because I do like a bright under eye. And I know some people say start with bronzer first, but I start with blush. This is Julia's place. Now, this was worth the money. This was $18 and I don't regret buying it. I blended it out with a cute little brush and then I take the Charlotte Tilbury bronzer. When I say that this bronzer is expensive, it's expensive. Like I literally was like crying when I was walking out the Sephora. But a good dupe for this would probably be the NYX bronzer, the Buttermilk bronzer. It's one of my favorite cheaper bronzers, and low-key I like it a little bit better than the Charlotte Tilbury. No shade. I sadly don't have the label no more because it kind of like rubbed it off because I was being ghetto with it, but it's really good, guys. Afterwards, I blend out the rest of the concealer, and then this is when I start using the Fenty powder. Okay, this powder is very expensive, but I don't know any dupes, so buy it if you want, buy it if you don't, but personally, it's worth the money. This is in the shade Banana, I know that. I forgot, I'm supposed to be saying the shades. I guess not. I like to bake the crap out of my face because I love having a baked face, so sorry. And then I use Too Faced's eyeshadow palette that I got from like TJ Maxx, and I use brown on the outside lid, and then I take the e.l.f. concealer and do it on my inner corners because I do like a bright like inner corner. So then I like blend it out, and then I take like a white eyeshadow to make my eyelid brighter, and afterwards I will get a liquid eyeliner that I got from like CVS or Walgreens again. Like I don't care why people buy expensive eyeliner. Like bro, it's the same thing, same damn thing, I promise you. Oh, and then my favorite mascara from Ulta is very cheap. It was like $8. Oh, and then I wipe away the powder. Oh, one of my favorite setting sprays. I barely use setting spray, to be honest. Probably should be using it more, but I don't know, I'm cheap. Oh, and then this powder is Wet n Wild. I stole it from my sister in like 2020 and I still got it. Oh, and then like my lip combo, simple. This is the Too Faced blush. I love it. I take like this like sponge and I like use it for my like makeup blush or whatever. Oh, and then I do my lashes. I stack my lashes, by the way, guys. I put on my wig, you know, and the wig was eating, guys. And I finished my makeup. You know, the base was eating. It wasn't perfect today, I feel like. But, like, I was kind of, like, BSing, to be honest. But this was my makeup after a couple hours. Bye.
They say I'm too young to love you. I don't know what I need. They think I don't understand the freedom land of the 70s. I think I'm too cool to know ya. You say I'm like the ice I freeze. I'm churning out novels like beat poetry on unfitted memes. I say
Mira Yandel de nuevo. Aquí estoy. Con Calderón.
Quiero que ella mueva su cuerpo. Quiero que la pista baile. Quiero tocar tu cuerpo. Quiero que lo bailes lento. Quiero que ella mueva su cuerpo. Quiero que la pista baile. Quiero tocar tu cuerpo. Quiero que lo bailes lento.
Yandel y el negro Calderón vaya al de Easy. Pa' la nena y pa' la misi. Déjate llevar que llevo el niche de Boring que en Bella. Representando bien duro para las que están en la de ella. Lo que nadie se esperaba, la clara. Combinación perfecta pa' mis lindas caras. Oye, traigo de todo. Agua, cosa, belcole. Y Yandel nunca se va de todo.
Quiero que ella mueva su cuerpo. Quiero que la pista baile. Quiero tocar tu cuerpo.
Strike the pose.
At the postseason, we at the lows, wristed like Chris, Cartier stones. Lil' baby lit, I'ma take her home. Pounds on chill, we on the road. Look, we done grow. You a sell out in your soul, done been sold. Street to legit, we done conquer the grove. When you really rich on a Sunday, your bank don't close. Cat like you pressing, but trust me, you gon' get your lesson. Nobody gon' know your direction. Don't let them know which one you working. They cook like you blessing. Don't show your hand, let them keep guessing. Dripping is giving fluorescence. I came with the dressing. Keep God in my presence. I cross bulletproof and protected. You can shoot if you want, learn a lesson. Got your hoe in my possession. You don't hit it.
Swing round, come on, chill with me. I got your favorite show recorded on my TV, but we don't have to watch that, no. I'll turn off the radio. So won't you pick up, and we can link up. It's not a hookup. Don't think about it too much, too much. You just need to pick up, and we can link up. Don't think about it too much, too much. Don't think about it too much, too much. Don't think about it too much, too much, too much, too much, too much, too much. Do you think about the days when we sat down smoking wine and drinking haze? Or is it the other way?
I go hard, but I make it look. I go hard, but I make it look sexy. I'm telling like I'm Nelly. I'm dubbing him, I want his bestie. Think I'm petty, off the Jenny. Going stupid like Ed and Eddie. Cutting him or bringing up the machete. Pretty in person, no edit like Getty. So a bitch, I'm a brat. I'm in Brooklyn, catch me on the Ave. Get me lit and I'm bringing it back. Pass me a bottle, don't know how to act. I know I'm the baddest. I gotta tell like who looking the maddest. If I want it, I already have it. Gotta get to it, this shit is a habit. I'm the face, so they putting me frontline. Running the race, I'm on go like it's crunch time. With a shooter like free throw. You putting holes in your body like zero. I got that bitch mad. I can't argue over what I had. Gotta get to the bag. If they in my section, they all bad. I go hard, but I make it look. I go hard, but I make it look sexy. I'm telling like I'm Nelly. I'm dubbing him, I want his bestie. Think I'm petty, off the Jenny. Going stupid like Ed and Eddie. Cutting him or bringing up the machete. Pretty in person, no edit like Getty. I back in when I'm parking.
let's start. I've already prepped and primed my skin. I used the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Water Cream to prep, and then the Danessa Myricks Yummy Powder Serum to prime. And now I'm going to go in with color corrector. I'm going to go in with the Huda Beauty one. This is the shade Papaya. And I'm going to put this anywhere I have any dark spots. I popped all my pimples last month, so I have a bunch of scars right now. So I'm just going to go over everything with that. I'm going to go in with a concealer that's my same skin tone. This is the Rare Beauty Concealer to also correct. So I'm correcting and concealing in one step. I like to just do them both at the same time. After I let the concealer sit, I like to blend it out just to maximize the coverage. Now that we've corrected everything and we got an even base, I'm going in with my foundation. I'm using the NARS Light Reflecting in the shade 𝒸𝓾𝒾𝒄. Using this IT Cosmetics dual-ended brush. I feel like the shade is a little bit, I don't know how to describe it. It's almost green to me, but it works. It works at the end. This is the Ilia complexion stick in the shade Wenge. I'm going to use the shade to contour. I like to go in with creams and powders to maximize the slay. You got to do both. You'll notice I don't use a sponge for anything. I feel like that's why a lot of people will ask me, like, how do I get my makeup to look more like makeup? And I think the problem is y'all are letting that sponge absorb all the product that you placed. So it's like you feel like you never see it because you already don't put enough product, and then the sponge absorbs half of what you put down. This is just the Coffee Concealer in the shade Kesar Pista. And I'm using this on my forehead, chin, and upper lip. I used the Anastasia concealer. This is the shade 17. And this concealer is super full coverage. And we're going to get pretty bright with the under eye today. So trust the process. I'm using my Makeup by Mario brush. I'm just going to blend this out. Trust the process. Okay. Okay. Now that we're all blended, I'm going in with the second concealer. This is the Huda Beauty concealer. I'm just putting the tiniest amount of the Huda Beauty concealer in my inner corner just to make sure this area is brighter. Just a little bit. This is the shade 7.1 Crumble. And I'm going to use a smaller concealer brush to blend that out. The smaller brush, I just keep it very close to the inner corner. And also really shape out my nose contour with this brighter concealer. Now I'm going in with liquid blush. This is the e.l.f. blush in the shade Berry Well. I'm just going to put this kind of on that border between my bronzer and my highlight. Blending those, bridging those two together. Getting a little close to my under eye. I'm going straight in with loose powders. I'm mixing Translucent Honey from Laura Mercier and Ultra Pink from One Size. I'm going to take this up on my forehead to set both my chin and upper lip, but I'm only going to really bake on my under eyes. This is the Kosas Cloud Set in the shade Silky to set my jawline and kind of the rest of my face. For bronzer, I'm using the Juvia's Place Powder Duo in Dark. I mixed both shades, but I used mainly the top shade. And I just go ham with this one because you want to bring all the color back that the powder took away. I also contour my nose with this powder. I just kind of trace where I've left out the powder on my face normally. And the first powder blush I'm going to use is from Ren Beauty in the shade Jupiter Moon. It is like the perfect bronzer shade. And I keep this one kind of low on my cheekbone. And I'll use the MAC blush in Like Me, Love Me. This one has a little bit of a sheen, and I'll use this higher up, closer to my under eye. Yeah. Just like that. Perfect, A. I'm just running my bronzer through my crease. On this little taper brush, I'm going to take the Charlotte Tilbury pressed powder and just press this into my under eye, kind of dusting off the bake while also pushing this pressed powder into my eye. I'm going to use highlighter on my nose bridge and my inner corners. For highlighter, I mix the Sephora Collection Luminizer and the Fenty How Many Carats Diamond Bomb. The shade for the luminizer is 01 Glitzy Gold. The lashes are from Shein. I'm going to try to find the ID on here, but I'm going in with the Morphe Trendsetter Lip Liner. This is the Maybelline lipstick Untouchable Taupe. This is the Win Beauty Gloss in the shade Prize. I'm going to use that in the center. I'm going to use the Fenty Gloss and Hot Chocolate Heat to line my lips one last time. After setting my face, this is basically everything. I added a little more because I used to do that in 2022. But yeah, the glam is really, really nice. And yeah, this is the finished look. At this point, sometimes I add bottom mascara and sometimes I don't. When I really want to look like a doll, I don't put anything on my under eyes. But yeah, this is the finished look. Let me know if you like it. And if you have any questions, leave them and I'll answer.
Updated makeup tutorial, let's go. First things first, always start with a clean face, and then I go in with moisturizer. I'm using the Tatcha Dewy Skin Cream, but you can use any moisturizer that like you think works best under your makeup. Next, I use the Dewdrops from Glow Recipe. These have been one of my favorite makeup prep products for like the longest time. Next, I just started using these from Rodial. It's their Illuminating Ultimate Glow Primer. They sent it to me, and honestly, I've been loving it. I'm doing just a little bit of the pink e.l.f. Power Grip. I just really like how this makes my makeup look. I don't know. Let's give that a minute to all like dry down because you don't want anything to peel or move. First, I always take a little bit of e.l.f. Halo Glow. Like no matter what I do, I always put this on first. And I always use the Mario F4 brush to blend out any type of foundation. This is literally my favorite brush for that. And I take the Fenty Beauty Skin Tint. This is literally my favorite skin tint of all time. And I just do like a little bit because I already put on the Halo Glow, so I don't want like too much product on my face. And then I also just blend that out with the same brush. Now I'm taking the Mario F4 brush with the Juvia's Place cream bronzer, and I like to this stuff is really pigmented, be careful. But as I was saying, I like to use this as a contour because it's really cool toned. Like it's a bronzer, but it's not very warm toned in my opinion. And I like to use it as a contour. Using the Patrick Tuck nose contour brush, I'm literally doing like the tiniest little dip, and then I'm gonna like look how pigmented this stuff is. And I'm just gonna go from right here down. And then I kind of just blend it from there. It does look crazy at first, but just trust the process. Now for concealer, my go-to lately has been this combo of Natasha Denona and then Huda Beauty on top. But first with the Natasha Denona, I put some right here, then right here, and then I put some right here under my nose because I feel like I do have some discoloration there. And then I'll put some right here on my forehead and a little bit on my chin. I'm trying out the Haus Labs concealer brush today and I'm so excited. I always start by blending from the bottom up. I feel like that leaves the most like seamless transition from your concealer to your contour. Now I'm just taking a little bit of the Huda in my inner corner to brighten it up. And honestly, I just like to use a dry sponge to blend that out. Now it's time for cream blush. I'm using the Say Dew blush. I literally love these. I have them in every single shade. Literally my favorite cream blush probably ever. I'm also trying out this Haus Labs blush brush that they sent me. When I blend out my blush, I like to keep it really close right here up in the under eye. I feel like it just looks like way more cohesively blended. All the creams are done, so we're gonna lock it all in and do our first spray of setting spray. Literally time for my favorite part, powder. By the way, I have an in-depth video on how I set my under eyes if you guys are curious, so just go check that out. Now I'm taking my loose powder and I literally just go right over it. And I don't bake, I like to press it right in. Once you're all set, I do powder bronzer, and this is my favorite one of all time. I love this bronzer. When bronzing your nose, you always want to bring it up into your eyebrow. Now for powder blush, I always use Pomelo Peach by Haus Labs. This is literally like my favorite powder blush of all time. But they just sent me a ton of new blushes, including 2 new blush shades. So I'm gonna try out French Rosette. Look how cute this new packaging is. It is a lot smaller, but I'm pretty sure it's also cheaper. That's actually so pretty. I really like it. And now for my fake freckles, I just take this really skinny brush and I take these 2 shades in this Patrick Ta palette. and I kind of just dot away on my nose. And if it's ever too harsh, I just take my finger and I tap it out a little bit and it settles down. Now I just add highlight to the tip of my nose with my finger. Do your final spray of setting spray. Recently I've been doing my lips before eyes and I'm just wiping off my lip gloss, and then I take Huda Warm Brown. Now I take Rich Brown and I kind of like contour, like right above. Now I'm taking the gloss in the shade Foxy and I'm just going over all of that. I did my mascara off camera because it takes so long, but for finishing touches, I just take a little bit of brown eyeshadow and I just smudge it right underneath my eye. And then I just put any brown liner in my waterline. For my brows, I've been keeping it so simple. I literally just darken them up a little bit. Like, I don't overline them or anything. That's it. That's the whole makeup routine. Let me know if you guys have any questions in the comments.